بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال هذا صراط علي مستقيم إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان إلا من اتبعك من الغاوين وإن جهنم لموعدهم أجمعين لها 7 أبواب لكل باب منهم جزء مقسوم إن المتقين في جنات وعيون ادخلوها بسلام آمنين ونزعنا ما في صدورهم من غل إخوانا على سرر متقابلين لا يمسهم فيها نصب وما هم منها بمخرجين نبئ عبادي أني أنا الغفور الرحيم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. قال هذا صراط علي مستقيم. We are continuing the discussion between God and Satan. There is a discussion, and this discussion is mentioned in this chapter, in the 2nd chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, in many other chapters. And as I said, we learn a lesson from this discussion, that though God is the most high, the most supreme in this universe, nothing is higher than God. Nothing is more important than God. But God was ready to speak to the most despicable person, and that is Satan. Satan, though very terrible, very nasty, very bad, very evil, he's Satan after all. He's Satan. Nothing is worse than him. But God did not shut him off. When he said, I want to speak to you, God said, okay, let's talk. We learn a lesson. We, the humans, learn a lesson. We should not shut off any person. If we disagree with people around us, be it a family member, be it a community member, be it an enemy, stranger, he's an enemy. When time comes, an opportunity comes to speak, let's talk, let's dialogue. God has given us reason, intelligence. Ar-Rahmanu allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, allamahu al-bayan. We have the power of bayan, the power of intelligent communication, intelligent dialogue, intelligent speech. So let's use it. We use it with our friends as well as enemies. We must talk. We do not shut the door. We don't say, I'm not going to speak to this person for the rest of my life. This is not right. A lesson we learn from God. God was ready. God knows Satan is evil and he's not going to change. He's not going to change. No matter how much God speaks to him, he's not going to change. But God said, okay, I'm willing to talk to you. So there was a conversation. Part 1 conversation, we mentioned it 2 weeks ago, and tonight we're going to mention the second part. God said, هذا صراط علي مستقيم. This is a straight path unto me. God saying that he's making a prelude to something important. Verse 41 is a prelude to verse 42. 42, God says, Inna ibadi, verily, إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان إلا من اتبعك من الغاوين. As for my servants, truly you have no authority. You, Satan, you have no control or authority over them except those who are going to follow you and listen to you in deviation. What does that mean? My servants, you have no control over them. You have no authority. لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَان. Sultan means authority. You may mislead others, but my servants here, my servants in this context are Anbiya, prophets, and Imams. Because Satan has control over all human beings. No one is infallible except prophets and Imams. Even pious people, pious and righteous, very pious, very righteous, sometimes Satan approaches them. Sometimes Satan deceives them. Because every human being has a moment of weakness. Why? Because we have a desire. We are made human. We are not angels. Angels have no desire. Satan cannot approach them. He cannot. Because they have no desire. Angels, they follow strictly what God tells them to do. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم. لا يعصون. They do not disobey God because they have no freedom of choice. They have been programmed in a way that they only follow instructions. They cannot say no. Angels have no power, no freedom to say no to God. This is how He created them. Why? He created them to use them as employees. They have to work for Him. They are working for Him. And an employee, if he keeps saying no to his boss, he's not an employee. An employee has to follow military orders. Whereas humans, we have not been programmed to follow strictly. We have been given the choice. God wants us to follow Him, but He wants us to follow Him out of awareness and love and conviction and understanding, not force, not intimidation, not fear. Not fear. A religion that is based on fear is not a good religion. A society that worships God out of intimidation and fear and hypocrisy is not an Islamic society. We have to teach our children. First thing we learn in Islam, freedom of choice. I worship God because I want to worship Him, not because my mother wants to worship Him. Not because my father wants me to worship Him. Not because the government wants me to pray. I love the prayers. I myself understand it. It's my own conviction. It's not my family's conviction. Any society teaches people to worship God by force is going to fail. It is going to backfire. We must teach our children a freedom of choice. We introduce religion to them, but we don't force them. لا إكراه في الدين. One of the most fundamental verses in our book, chapter 2, verse 255. لا إكراه في الدين. No coercion, no force when it comes to faith. Yes, there is encouragement, persuasion. We encourage them, we invite them, but we don't force them. This is the difference. So God said to him, my servants, ibadi, in this context, 42, means what? Means the Anbiya, the prophets and the Imams. You cannot have control over them. Why? Because we have accorded them what? What did we accord them? Zahra, the prophets and the Imams? Isma, infallibility, isma, protection. Extra layer of immunity and protection. They have been immunized. They got the vaccination. Special vaccination against what? Against deception, against deviation. They have that special shot from God. He has given them. Shaitan has no power to approach them. He cannot approach them. Whereas others, no matter how religious they are, sometimes they slip. They slip. Sometimes they slip. Because we go through moments of what? Weakness. We all go through moments of weakness. But the difference is that some people can survive, they can recover after it. Others, they do not recover. They don't want to recover. That is the difference. This is why Allah Arhamur Rahimin, He says, I am the most merciful, I'm the most loving, the most compassionate. If you slip, you can come to me. I am there to listen to you, to embrace you. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to condemn you to damnation. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm waiting for you to come to me. I know you are a sinner. I know you committed a sin. But I am willing to receive you. The concept of rahmah. In Islam, we have the most beautiful concept. Rahmah, maghfirah, forgiveness and mercy. And if God does not create forgiveness and mercy, nobody is going to worship Him. Nobody is going to worship Him. Again, another concept that we have to promote in our societies, Muslim societies, is rahmah, mercy, and forgiveness. These are very important. إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان إلا من اتبعك من الغاوين. Except those who would follow you. They listen to you. At the time of weakness, they listen to you. And people are different in the way they follow shaitan. They are different. According to their weaknesses. Some people, weaknesses are dunya, money. When they see money, they lose control. Some people, when they see sex, they lose control. Some people, when they see food, they lose control. Some people, when they see a position in the government, they lose control. Some people, when they have power and authority, they lose control. Some people, when they have knowledge, they become arrogant, they lose control. Some people, their weakness in envy, hasad. They cannot control their hasad, their envy, their jealousy. They cannot control it. Some people, their weakness is in greed. They need more and more and more and more and more. Some people, their weakness is in stinginess, bukhul. They don't give. They have, but they don't give. They have, but they don't give. At the time of giving, when he's about to write a check, $50, shaitan comes to him, strikes at him at that moment. He says, don't write. Don't write $50. You need it. One day, you're going to get sick. You need this $50. And he has $500,000, let's say. But he doesn't. This is his weakness. Every person has a weakness, my friends. Every person has a challenge in this life. We all have weaknesses. And this is why we are here. The job of religion is to help us overcome these weaknesses that we have. This is the jihad. What is the meaning of jihad? Jihad is not to carry a gun and open fire on others. Jihad is to open fire on our weaknesses inside us. Stinginess, meanness, greed, jealousy, selfishness. These are our enemies. إِلَّا مَنِ اتَّبَعَكَ مِنَ الْغَاوِينَ. You can only deceive those who willingly follow you. وَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ لَمَوْعِدُهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. And those who are going to willingly follow you, you're going to be gathered in the hellfire. Your appointment, maw'id, is the hellfire. You and your followers. وَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ لَمَوْعِدُهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Then God speaks a little bit about Jahannam, but then He switches to paradise. Because we don't want to listen to Jahannam. We always love the positive things, not the negative. But he has to remind us because Jahannam is a reality. It's not superstition. It's a reality. Both are a reality. Hellfire is a reality. Paradise is a reality. So he has to tell us about it. So we don't arrive there and we tell him, listen, you didn't tell me anything. You didn't tell me there is punishment. So he has to tell us. لَهَا سَبْعَةُ أَبْوَابٍ. It has 7 gates. Jahannam has 7 gates, 7 doors. Why 7 doors? He explains why. لِكُلِّ بَابٍ مِّنْهُمْ جُزْءٌ مَقْسُومٌ. For each gate, a group has been designated for each gate. One is the group of the liars. They are ushered into door number 1, let's say. The second door has been designated for whom? Tyrants, of course, definitely. They have a special, they are VIP there. Jahannam, tyrants are VIP, believe me. Red carpet for the tyrants. They are in fact the first people who are going to go there. Each group has a door. لها سبعة أبواب لكل باب. For each door, for each gate, there is a designated group. There is a designated group. لكل باب منهم جزء مقسوم. Then that's it. He doesn't say anything. Nothing more about Jahannam. He turns now. This is God's policy. He speaks about punishment, but immediately also speaks about forgiveness for those who did well, as an encouragement, a reminder for us. Okay? He's not the Lord of punishment. He's the Lord of mercy. And we're going to read in the same chapter, نَبِّ عِبَادِي. Tell my servants, إِنِّي أَنَا الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Verily, I am Ghafoor, forgiving, Rahim, merciful. He speaks about his forgiveness and his mercy all the time. Not about his punishment. Punishment is an exception. Mercy is the norm. Punishment is an exception. Why is an exception? Because he leaves no room for argument on the day of judgment. No one can come to him and say, I did not know there was a punishment. Then he speaks about muttaqeen, the righteous. Muttaqeen, those who have self-control. Those who have been intimidated, but they resist. We all are intimidated, my friends. None of us can escape intimidation in this life. None of us is going to escape the attractions of this life. But then we have the power of resistance. We must resist. And people are different in their powers of resistance. Some of them, they have no power to resist. Too weak. Some of them are very strong. They can resist. And that depends on something here called the nafs, the soul. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. The nafs. How is your nafs? Did you train it? Did you nurture it? Did you feed it? Did you strengthen your nafs or not? The prayers that we do, we just did a few minutes ago, this is one of the ways of strengthening our nafs, protecting our nafs, empowering our nafs. The prayers, the salat. The dua after the salat. Oh Allah, I need you in my life. No matter how rich, influential, famous, powerful, healthy I am, but I still need you. You are the source of my strength, not my family, not my money, not my company, not my job, not my intelligence. You. This is the dua. Connects us to God always. This life is very tumultuous. Life outside is very inhumane. It's very terrible. We need to connect to the source of love, the source of mercy, the source of hope. Hope. We survive on hope. The dua, when Ramadan comes, when we fast, why do we fast? It's another lesson to keep myself, to keep my desire under control. I have the food, the drink at home, but I abstain willingly. not because someone is forcing me. We don't. We cannot succeed in this life if we don't have resistance. We can't. No nation, no family, no community can succeed and achieve their goals if they are weak. No nation. We have to resist. We cannot say always yes to our desires. We must have the power to say no. This is bad. I'm not going to do this. This is bad. I don't care what people say. As long as my God, my conscience says this is bad, I'm not going to do it. This is the power of resistance. This is taqwa. Taqwa is resistance. Nothing more, my friends, nothing more. Taqwa does not mean how many prayers you do a day, how many times you stand in the middle of the night to worship God. No. Taqwa is how much is the power of your resistance. When it comes to shaitan, when it comes to temptation, when it comes to sins, how much resistance we have. Do we have resistance or not? This is the meaning of taqwa. Therefore, God says, those muttaqeen, we give them 8 gifts. Let's count these gifts together, and I leave the podium, inshallah. Inna al-muttaqeen. Inna, whenever there is inna in the beginning, this is an assertion. In the Arabic culture, in the Arabic vocabulary, Arabic language, inna means assertion. It means verily, undoubtedly, verily. Inna al-muttaqina fi jannatin wa uyun. So that is the first gift. Their abode is going to be jannat, gardens and springs. Why springs always? God speaks about rivers and uyun, springs. It's a reference to what? Life. Reference to life and reference to continuity too. Continuity. Inna al-muttaqina. They are in gardens. And these gardens are not dry. Not like Southern California's gardens with artificial irrigation. No. It has continuity and vitality. Continuity and vitality. Fi jannatin wa uyun. This is their abode. Number 1. Count with me. This is number 1 gift. Number 2. Udkhuluha bisalamin aminin. Udkhuluha, angels are going to tell them, enter into it. Udkhuluha, dukhul, enter into these gardens with 2 things, 2 conditions. Bisalam, number 1, with peace. Sometimes you go into a country, a house, a place with some hesitation. You are worried. You are not comfortable. There is much fear, uncertainty. God says when you enter paradise, you have no fear, no uncertainty. Bisalam, with peace of mind. Nothing more beautiful than having peace of mind. Nothing. Nothing, my friends. Bisalamin, the second thing, the second condition, aminin. You are secure from aman. فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. We take security for granted. But go to next door country, Mexico. After sunset, you cannot walk in the street. Neither in Mexico City nor in any other Mexican city south of the border. Go to some parts of America here. Don't travel abroad. You cannot go into that neighborhood after sunset. Same thing with many other countries. We take security for granted. We don't appreciate it. If your children today can leave the house and then come back safe, you have to give thanks to God. If your wife can go out and come back home safe, and you yourself, we have to give thanks. One day I was in a country. I was in Halifax, Canada. I was giving lectures. So the director of the mosque would come and pick me up and take me to the Husseiniya, to the mosque. So there was some delay, couple of minutes. When I came, he said, "Why the delay, Sayyid? I said, I was locking the door. He said, why do you lock the door? Leave it open. And he's the owner of that apartment. He said, leave it open. You don't even have to shut the door. Nobody's going to go into your apartment. Nobody. This is the most peaceful country. This is what he was telling me. When you live in a country, in a city, in a neighborhood, you are at peace. There are no intruders. Nobody is going to break in. But we don't appreciate that. We don't. We take it for granted. We take it for granted. In dua Abu Hamza al-Thamali in the month of Ramadan, one of the things Imam Zain al-Abidin says, وَارْزُقْنِي الْأَمْنَ فِي الْوَطَنِ وَارْزُقْنِي الْأَمْنَ فِي الْوَطَنِ. Grant me security in my home, in my watan. If I don't have security, I'm not going to live there. I can't. So these two things, أُدْخُلُوهَا بِسَلَامٍ آمِنِينَ. So this is number 3. We counted the 3 blessings. Blessing number 1, what was it? Jannatin wa uyun. Beautiful place. It has a view. Paradise, by the way, has a view. The Quran says, in another verse, it has a view. Yeah. Because the Quran uses ghurfa. Ghurfa in Arabic means room. But not any room. Not the room downstairs. The room upstairs. Why upstairs? Because it has a view. وَهُمْ فِي الْغُرُفَاتِ آمِنُونَ. Always Quran uses, when he speaks about the rooms, he says the upper rooms. Rooms upstairs. Because it has a view. And then after that, we come to 4 and 5. We come to number 4. Wow, this is very, very good. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ. وَنَزَعْنَا. We removed rancor from their hearts. When they enter paradise, they have no hate. They don't hate anyone. No jealousy, no hate, no competition, no race with anyone, no bad feeling. God cleans the heart. And this is a beautiful gift, my friends. I know people in this life, before they go to paradise, they have no rancor in their heart. Their heart is very, very immaculate, spotless. Good for them. Good for them. They live good life. Good life is when you don't have any problem with anyone. You don't hate any person. No grudge, no hate, no race with anyone. You walk on earth in peace. This is real happiness. Happiness does not mean that we have to crush those people and prevail over those people. No. When your heart is clean, truly clean, not diplomatically, truly, honestly, your heart is clean. You go home, you put your head in bed on the pillow, and you think about people and you love all people. You respect all people. Even those who hurt you, you say, never mind. They are a human being. Never mind. They went through a moment of weakness in their life. You forgive them. This is Iman, my friends. The spirit of Islam is a clean heart. When you have a clean heart, you enjoy this life. You have no problem with anyone. Some people, they have a problem with everyone, including their own selves. They quarrel with own selves every day. They hate their own selves. Those people cannot survive. They don't enjoy life. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ. Number 5, it says, إِخْوَانًا. إِخْوَانًا. They are brothers. People in paradise, they are like brothers, siblings. They love each other. In fact, I have seen sisters love each other more than the brothers do. Sometimes the brothers, between them, there is some competition. But sisters, subhanallah. Subhanallah. Sisters, they help each other. They love each other. They love each other's children. They are more merciful. More merciful. This is a fact. This is a fact in this life. God says, the inhabitants of paradise are going to live like brothers. They have no problem with each other. إخوانا. And then number 6, على سرر متقابلين. They sit upon couches facing one another. See, here we are not facing one another. And of course, when we sit like that, the guy in the front is going to turn to the guy in the back and tells him, ببخشید, پشتم به شماست. The guy in the back is going to answer him what? گل پشت رو ندارد. Typical ta'aruf. In paradise, God says they're going to face. Have you seen some trains? When you ride a train, not airplanes, but mostly in the trains. You see this here in Europe, other places. They face each other. What does it mean when they face each other? It means they speak. They like each other. They communicate. They respect each other. They don't give their backs to each other. They do not turn away from each other. They face each other. There is a good relationship between them. على سرر متقابلين. Number 7 and number 8, and I conclude. Number 7 says, لا يمسهم نصب. No weariness shall befall them. Nasab means ta'ab. خستگی, weariness. We get tired in this life. We get tired. Don't you get tired? Don't you go sometimes home and your wife asks you, how are you? And you say, I'm tired today. You get tired because when you deal with many people outside. Driving on LA's freeways get you tired. Driving, only driving, even if you don't talk to anyone. Driving. Sometimes listening to bad news. You listen to the radio, you get tired. Because always negative news, bad news. It's all about crime. It's all about mistrust. You get tired. Don't you get tired from the news? The news about COVID-19 makes you tired. Makes you tired. The news about election yesterday in Virginia and other places makes you tired. The news about politics makes you tired. God says when you go to paradise, no more tiredness, no more weariness. لا يمسهم فيها نصب. You are always fresh. Always you wake up in the morning in a good mood, smiling. In some countries, the couple, when they wake up, they don't smile. They don't smile. They don't smile. And if they smile in the morning, they smile into the face of each other, their day is going to be the most beautiful day. But they don't smile. They choose not to smile. We have to learn this from the Quran. Smile. Smile to your wife, to your neighbor, to your son, to your daughter, to your co-worker. Smile. You have the choice. You have the choice. In some countries, they frown. They frown. Nothing but frowning. And they think if you frown, you are closer to God. Don't frown. Don't frown. We have to smile. لا يمسهم فيها نصب. And number 8, وما هم منها بمخرجين. Nor shall they be expelled from paradise. Today I was reading in the newspaper in the New York Times, every day in Spain, in Madrid alone, an average of 150,000 families get evicted from their apartments. Huge number, my friend. First, I thought 150. I said, well, 150, it happens every year. 150,000, because the government have protected them during the pandemic. Now they say no more protection. You have to pay your own rent. And the landlords, they need their money. They need their money. So they are getting evicted. Imagine a society, a country, an economy which has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of homeless people. What will happen to it? This is a harsh reality. God says in paradise, you don't pay rent, no mortgage. No one is going to expel you from there. No one is going to strip you of your citizenship and say you are not a citizen of this land, go back home. وَمَا هُمْ مِنْهَا بِمُخْرَجِينَ. There is no exit, no khuruj. Once you go there, it's permanent residency forever. This is your home. Welcome back home. This is your home. You don't have to worry about your home, your mortgage, your payment, this and that. So these are the 8 qualities of the people of paradise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us these qualities, inshallah. Before I conclude, Southern California is going to receive 15,000 Afghan refugees. There are 55,000 right now, 55,000 Afghan refugees in 5 American military bases around the country. 15,000 of them, 15,000 of them are going to be relocated here in Southern California. And they need help. They need emotional help, financial help, psychological help, religious help. They need help. So if you are willing to help them out, go to SMC website. SMC stands for Shia Muslim Council, because many of those refugees are from the minority Hazara Shia Muslims of Afghanistan, who have been bombed recently. Their mosques have been bombed. Their schools have been bombed by ISIS. SMC, Shia Muslim Council, smc.org, Shia Muslim Council of Southern California. They have guidelines. They're going to tell you how you can reach out to those refugees. And I think it is our duty, each and every one of us, to help, to reach out to them. Those are human beings before anything else, before being Afghan or Hazara or Shia or Sunni or Muslims or non-Muslims. They are a human being. They are victims of terrorism, victims of barbarism. We need to help them out. So please go to this website and encourage your friends, your neighbors to go to this website, and they're going to tell you how you're going to reach out to them, inshallah. And then, inshallah, Friday, tomorrow, the last day, Salatul Jum'ah is going to be at 1. From the following week, it's going to be at 12 noon, inshallah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الخطيئات إنك ماحي السيئات وجاعلها حسنات إنك على كل شيء قدير. I invite you to recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the soul of Marhuma Aqdas Baban Shuruqi, the mother of our dear brothers Haj Agha Hamid, Haj Agha Humayun, and also Haj Ali Kareem, for their souls. Al-Fatiha.